Hi, and welcome to the Unable to Connect to Cosmos DB video. So in this video, we want to create a visualization for the problem that is commonly happens when you try to connect to the database when you don't take the right options on the setup on Azure. This goes in conjunction with the community article Unable to Connect to Cosmos DB Bad Request. In this video, what we'll try and do is create a Cosmos DB container, and I want to show what the error is that you can get, and then we'll create another container where we can set the correct setting. So I want to show you like a common problem, and then the fix, or rather the correct setting that you set from the beginning. So I've set up a previous example here, and I've got a previous database configured, so I want to create a new container for this. We're going to use our existing DB, and we're going to have a new container here. Right. Specifically, I'm going to show you the option we're not going to take. My application uses older cosmos.net. This is the option we want to tick when we get it correct to work. So we're going to run this one to show you the error first of all, unticked. Okay, we're going to create a second container with the correct setting. We use the same partition ID, but it's a different container. So this on container 2 here, O2, we are now going to use the My Application uses an older Cosmos.NET Java SDK version. This is the correct setting. You need to tick this on. This can only really be set on create. So if you've got an existing container like you've created that O1, my first one, then you will need to delete that container and recreate your container. This is the option you need to set to correct this problem. Okay, we've got two containers created now. With the two different settings. So in our process, I'm going to create a connection. We're going to create and configure this connection as a create. And so first of all, I'm going to import so we've got two containers in there. These are the two we just created. Let's import O1 and we'll try that first. I'll return error responses. All I've got here is a bit of static text with the ID, my partition, value. So the response we get is 400 bad request. This is key and very important. If you're getting this type of error, I've seen multiple attempts to try to correct this, all different settings and configurations and passing the ID, not passing anything like that. And essentially the problem here is the fact that we are using the wrong SDK. That's what's wrong with this. So to prove that as a point, that's our bad CosmosDB connection. And I'm going to use the same connection shape. The connection isn't our problem. So now we're going to import our container 2, which, as you saw, was configured no differently other than a tick box in the SDK. And we'll return errors on that one. There we go. Nothing different, no different data. Save that. Let's have a look at our notify shape. And we get our ID back. To have a look at that. So items in container 01, empty. Items now in container 02, we have our ID. It's created, it's been passed through. What we will get here is our ID back, and we do get back our 201. So that is, just to show you what that was, that is the status code returned here, 201, which is created. I hope that helps. A common misconception and a common problem with this around ticking the use older SDK, which is also labeled in our documentation for the Cosmos DB connector. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.